Right now, we're bringing you the very latest on the coronavirus here at home after the DHS confirms the presence of community spread.
Plus, what measures first responders are taking to prevent themselves from becoming infected with COVID-19.
And we're watching the radar map this morning as a narrow band of rain and snow works its way through southern Wisconsin. I'll tell you when all this precipitation will come to an end in just a few minutes.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, March 18th. I'm Josh Spreiter.
And I'm Christina Laurie. Leah Lynchide will join us remotely in just a few minutes. The number of confirmed cases of the coronavirus here in Wisconsin has nearly doubled since Monday.
Yeah, here's a look at the latest numbers from the Department of Health Services this morning. In total, there are now 89 cases, up from 47 Monday. The number in Dane County also jumped from 10 to 19. Milwaukee County has the most confirmed cases with 40 total.
Officials are now confirming the presence of community spread cases, meaning there are people who've tested positive here in Wisconsin who have no exposure to a known case and didn't travel to a location where there is known community spread. During their daily press conference, Governor Tony Evers and DHS officials talked about these new concerns.
Now is the time to make a plan to stay home. It is vital for everyone, but especially for people who are at high risk and vulnerable, like our older citizens and those with compromised immune systems.
The governor also issued an emergency order limiting all gatherings to less than 10 people. The order does make exceptions. You can read about those on our website, channel3000.com.
Several restaurants are switching to delivery and pickup orders only because of that order. That includes several on State Street, which was unusually quiet for St. Patrick's Day. We caught up with the owner of Nick's Bar and Restaurant right before the moratorium started. They'll be trying out only offering pickup orders the next 2 weeks.
I'm going to do what the government tells me to do and what's best for the people as well. I hope, though, that the government understands that small businesses like myself, without some sort of aid or bailout, it's going to be extremely difficult to recover for this.
The owner of Two Dos Pasta says insurance doesn't cover this type of closure. He says he'll be trying out pickup and delivery orders to keep his staff and business afloat as well.
Madison's East and West Town malls are now closed in response to the coronavirus pandemic. Some of the restaurants inside each mall will remain open for curbside pickup or deliveries, and we're told more information will be provided as it becomes available.
A number of businesses continue to close their doors indefinitely to try and protect their workers and the public.
Yesterday, we told you about dentists and doctors postponing people's appointments to keep patients out of their offices, and Leah Lynchide still out of our office herself, socially distancing from home. She's live this morning with more on which workers have it the worst. Hi, Leah.
Hi, Christina and Josh. Oh, gosh, I miss you guys. I miss working in the newsroom with our colleagues, but I am grateful that I have the opportunity to work from home due to the nature of our jobs. We know that's not the case for everyone, right? You probably know a nurse, a first responder, maybe your local grocery store worker. Those folks have to continue to go to work to help keep our community safe and to make sure society functions. Now, this morning, I want to provide a little context on which workers are most at risk of coronavirus exposure in their jobs. The New York Times has a really informative graphic out there. We have it up on channel3000.com to sort of describe where these jobs fall along the line, along the continuum of exposure. We're going to break it down for you this morning. Take a peek at this. We're going to start with healthcare workers, in particular dentists and dental hygienists. They are at the very top of this list due to the nature of their jobs. Now, this might explain why, as you said, Christina, the American Dental Association came out and recommended that you cancel or reschedule your routine appointments. I certainly got an email from my dentist yesterday asking me to reschedule. I'm sure lots of you folks did as well. So this makes sense that this group is at the top of that list. Now, nurses and first responders are also on this list. This also makes sense, right? Due to the nature of their jobs. Two things factor into this. That's proximity to others in your job, in physical contact with others, which both of these industries are, and exposure to illnesses, which is also pretty high in the healthcare industry. Why are we showing you all of this? This is, again, all about context. So maybe some of these inconveniences we're dealing with when it comes to trying to socially distance ourselves and those missed or canceled dentist appointments, this is all to keep folks safe, to help keep the public safe, and also to keep these at-risk workers safe. Coming up in our next half hour, I'm going to continue to break down that New York Times graphic for you, show you maybe if your industry is impacted, if you're at risk of coronavirus exposure. And of course, as you're watching this report, I want you to go on your Facebook, on your Instagram, your Twitter, shoot me a message if you have some questions about your job. I'll talk about that coming up again in about half an hour. Josh and Christina.
All right, Leah Lynchad reporting from home. Once again, Leah, thank you. And as Leah just mentioned, first responders can't work from home and are at a higher risk of getting infected with COVID-19, but they are taking steps to keep themselves and the community safe during this coronavirus outbreak. The Madison Police and Fire Departments are using personal protective equipment like masks and gloves. If needed, they'll also wear protective gowns and goggles. 911 dispatch screens callers to check if they have flu-like symptoms. They're also asking callers to be mindful of what you're calling 911 for.
One big thing that we would ask of the community is to be thoughtful about your 911 use during this time. So if you're an otherwise healthy adult that has some flu-like symptoms, we ask that you maybe don't use 911, but try to get yourself care in a different manner.
Both Madison Police and Fire Departments say they have policies if someone gets exposed to the virus on a call. For the Fire Department, they will pull the person, send them for testing, and quarantine them. The Police Department said they will work with their staff medical director to determine likelihood of exposure.
Happening today, Governor Tony Evers is expected to announce an emergency order waiving the 1-week waiting period for workers to collect unemployment. The order will also waive the requirement that those receiving unemployment submit at least 4 job applications every week during the COVID-19 emergency.
Thanks to a new donation, the River Food Pantry will be able to continue meeting the needs of those with food insecurities during uncertain times. 3 anonymous donors are giving a $35,000 match grant to the food pantry. That grant will help provide boxes of groceries and non-perishable food items to more than 1,000 families a week in Madison. Right now, River Food Pantry is offering curbside distribution as well as a mobile lunch program 6 days a week.
We provide emergency food service every single day of the year, and we will continue to do that throughout this crisis as long as we possibly can because people have to eat.
The River Food Pantry is in need of healthy volunteers to help distribute food. So if you're interested in helping, we've put more information on the Channel 3000 mobile app.
The Salvation Army of Dane County is in need of personal hygiene products as it continues to serve people affected by the coronavirus. Here are some of the items they need most right now. Travel size hygiene supplies like deodorant, toothpaste, and personal hand sanitizer, washcloths, towels, and twin sheets, plus microwavable meals and snacks. Donations can be dropped off at 3030 Darbo Drive in Madison all weekdays between 9 and 3 p.m. The Salvation Army is accepting online donations as well.
6:07 now. Hattie McLean is here with kind of a rainy Wednesday forecast, but we're one day from spring.
I know. Try to start with the positive news, right? The official start of spring is one day away. It starts tomorrow, but we're not done with the snow. So don't put away that winter gear just yet. It's going to be a chilly day today. We're seeing some light snow across parts of southern Wisconsin. It's a narrow band of precipitation. Areas like the Dells have switched over to some light rain. At least that was the latest report that I could find. Fond du Lac, though, is experiencing some snow with that falling right there. Here in the Madison area, you can see we're right on the southern edge of this band. Our precipitation chances, though, ramp up as we go through the next couple of hours and are pretty likely through the lunch hour here across southern Wisconsin. But we put that map into motion and you'll see that the precipitation chances drop quite a bit through the afternoon hours. So most areas are going to dry out at least for a few hours this afternoon. Now, if there are any snow accumulations, they'll be slushy and mainly on grassy surfaces north of Madison. For the remainder of the area, some light rain accumulation is expected. 1/10 or a little bit more here in Madison, maybe up to 1/4 of an inch more in Platteville. It's not the only rain chance, though, that we're dealing with this week. Another storm system will move in for tomorrow. Take a look at the severe weather outlook. I know, weird to talk about that, but as we get through March into April, that's when our severe weather season ramps up, and there is a marginal risk for severe thunderstorms across just the southern part of the state tomorrow. So we'll, of course, watch that rain event tomorrow as it unfolds very very carefully. Your future track forecast model shows you the moisture spreading into the area through the morning hours. By lunchtime, getting pretty wet across southern Wisconsin, staying wet through the afternoon with some rumbles of thunder possible even into the evening. Now, there will be some cold air on the northern side of this system. Winds shift around to the north and west by Friday morning. They'll be pretty strong and much colder, so we'll see a changeover or a mix at least with some rain and snow. Precipitation should wind down pretty quickly, though, through the day on Friday. Mainly going to be a rain event for us. Again, we could see some snowflakes Friday morning, but we're looking at over a half an inch to maybe up to around an inch of precipitation. That's high for this time of the year, so a lot of moisture headed our way. For the Northwoods, maybe a little different story. A couple of inches of snow will be possible. Let's take a look at that extended forecast. 1 mild day this week, Thursday, 56 for the high. Look for some showers and thunderstorms through the late afternoon and evening hours. Then turning significantly colder on Friday. You'll want that winter jacket again with highs only at 35 degrees. The weekend forecast looks quiet, but cool. Here's a look at your first warn traffic maps this morning. No major issues on area roads. Keep in mind, though, that the roads are wet. There may be some snow falling, especially north of Madison. Just keep that in mind if you're headed out on the roads this morning.
Apparently the snow didn't get the message that spring is tomorrow, but thank you, Hattie. Starting today, Metro Transit here in Madison is limiting its capacity to just 15 people per bus. The city is asking that passengers only use the buses for essential trips, like to work, doctor's appointments, and grocery stores. They're also asking all passengers to stay at least 6 feet away from each other, including the driver, and exit through the rear doors.
A woman who lives on Madison's east side is making the best of her social distancing time. Deanne McCallan says she's been out picking up trash on the side of the roads every day and encourages others to do the same. She knows that social distancing doesn't mean social isolation, and she wants to help in any way she can in turning this negative experience into a positive one.
I thought this would be the perfect time because I'm one of those seniors who now needs to stay put and not see my grandkids. So I thought this would be a perfect way to help clean up the environment and see the grandkids and still abide by the restrictions.
We need more people like Deanne out there.
Everyone does.
Yeah, she and her grandkids and her dog are out there working with her, keeping their social distancing up while doing it.
What an angel.
I love that story.
Thank you to Deanne. Well, Hattie, as you heard, is tracking some rain, maybe even some snowflakes this morning. Ew, gross. And here's a live look outside. A slow-moving belt line. Not a lot of cars out there. Hattie's in next with an update on our first warn forecast.
Plus, how the coronavirus pandemic is affecting primaries and the 2020 election cycle. It is 6:12. This is News 3 Now this morning.
4 days only, Friday through Monday. Take an extra 30% off all clearance items. Plus, our lowest finance offer ever. Look at what just $10 a month will get you when you spend $5.99. But act fast, it won't last long. Pay no interest for 5 years when you spend $5.99 or more. A classy bedroom set, all 4 pieces, only $10 a month. Plus, take an extra 30% off all clearance items. And get free shipping with no minimum, and most items can be in your home in a week. Only at Slumberland Furniture.
Whoa, that doesn't sound good.
I know. I worry every time I have to stop. I really need a brake inspection.
It's free at Meineke.
Did you say free?
Meineke will examine your brakes thoroughly to make sure you're safe to be on the road for free. And if they do find any problems, they'll give you a written estimate for repairs. No surprises.
Wow, free and convenient.
Join the Meineke Rewards program to earn points for the dollars you spend. Receive double points for select brake services. Go to Meineke.com to sign up today.
You've pondered and pinned your wedding ideas? Now put them into place with Event Essentials. Our professional event staff can guide you through expert design with our high-quality, on-trend rentals. Plan your perfect wedding with Event Essentials. We supply everything but the guests.
Have you heard? Tempur-Pedic sleep is better sleep. With innovative memory foam developed by NASA, Tempur-Pedic mattresses reduce motion transfer, which means less tossing and turning so you can sleep undisturbed through the night. But which Tempur-Pedic is right for you? Come to Denver Mattress and test for yourself. Let our expert sales staff guide you to your perfect Tempur-Pedic. And right now, get a free Furniture Row gift certificate when you purchase any Tempur-Pedic. Shop Denver Mattress today, your Tempur-Pedic elite retailer.
Not just better, it's the best Outback ever. The new 2020 Subaru Outbacks are at Don Miller. You'll get the Outback Advantage with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and EyeSight driver assist technology. Now with the Subaru A Lot to Love event, lease the Outback Premium, $249 per month, 36 months, 10,000 miles per year, no security deposit, $1949 due at signing, or choose 0.9% financing. The Outback at Don Miller Subaru, west on Odana or east side, High Crossing Boulevard, Madison.
Don Miller. After 30 years, Wisconsin Craft Market is closing its doors forever. Get unbelievable craft deals now. Shop our going out of business sale. Hurry in for the best selection at Wisconsin Craft Market.
It's time to spring forward and embrace the longer, brighter days ahead. It's also the time to get your home improvement projects going with 33% off windows, siding, and doors at BuildCo. Plus, no interest until 2021. Kickstart your season, save some serious cash, and let the good times roll. BuildCo, improving lives, one home at a time.
33% off ends soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
Download the Channel 3000 First Warn Weather app today.
Former Vice President Joe Biden's lead in the Democratic primary race is growing after the latest round of elections. 4 states were originally scheduled to head to the polls yesterday, but 1 state rescheduled due to coronavirus.
And this morning, we're hearing from the candidates on the pandemic and taking a look at how the virus is affecting the way we vote. Laura Podesta has that story.
Joe Biden swept the night, picking up all 3 states that held primaries yesterday. According to CBS projections, the former vice president won Florida, Illinois, and Arizona. At the end of the night, Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders both live-streamed messages to voters, stressing the importance of leadership during this current health and economic crisis.
You know, tackling this pandemic is a national emergency, akin to fighting a war.
In this moment of crisis, it is imperative that we stand together.
Voters in all 3 states experienced a unique but necessary extra step or 2 when heading to the polls Tuesday.
They squirted our hand with antiseptic when we went in, squirted it when we went out.
The election supervisor in Palm Beach County said several voting sites had to be moved and others opened late after workers didn't show up.
We had a lot of people who had to call out sick again or just weren't able to make it.
Similar problems plagued Arizona and Illinois.
I was surprised that Illinois decided not to cancel, but I also think that it's important to vote.
Ohio was supposed to be the 4th state to hold a primary yesterday. In-person voting was postponed until June after the declaration of a health emergency. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Ahead in our next half hour, we'll have more on the results of those primaries and how many more delegates Joe Biden needs to statistically secure the nomination.
Michigan's Attorney General is accusing Menards of price gouging on bleach and face masks during the coronavirus pandemic. The home improvement store was sent a cease and desist letter from the Attorney General. They say they've found evidence of prices that had been, quote, essentially doubled, including packs of 3M face masks, which were sold at $39.95 with a $20 in-store rebate. In an email sent to Michigan news website MLive, Menards spokesperson Jeff Abbott says, quote, we will continue to monitor and adjust prices if the market changes. Our focus right now is to get products to our stores or else none of this would matter anyway. The Michigan Attorney General is giving the company 10 days to respond before taking the next steps to either file a civil suit or conduct a formal investigation. 6:17 right now. Hattie's here with an update on our forecast. Good morning, Hattie.
Good morning, Josh. We're still dealing with some rain and snow across southern Wisconsin. I've been watching this band over the last couple of hours. Madison just on the southern edge of it. We will likely see some snowflakes or some raindrops, though, over the next couple of hours as this band works its way towards the east. Look at our temperatures. 35 here in Madison, 34 in Platteville and Mineral Point, 31 in the Dells. Janesville is still at 37. Just a couple of degrees makes all the difference in the type of precipitation that you see. Our day planner has a chance for some snow at 7 o'clock here in Madison, but then it changes over to rain as temperatures get back into the mid-30s. We'll top in the 40s with mainly just cloudy conditions through the afternoon. Coming up, we'll talk more about that weekend forecast, which does finally include some sunshine once again.
Thank you so much, Hattie. Many people are searching for a mental break from the coronavirus, and that's becoming harder as more places shut down, like gyms. The owner of Transformation Center on Madison's West Side is switching to live online classes where clients can work out in real time with trainers. The owner says that by doing this, he can keep paying his staff and can keep business going too. And he's now encouraging others to take action.
Action is the most powerful thing. We can't just sit back and let things happen. We got to be proactive.
Maher says even though he's had some people cancel their memberships, he's finding more people signing up for the online classes he's offering, and those people are coming from other local gyms that are not offering those options. Both you and I, Josh, we're into working out to get a mental break from all of this. I know we're kind of in the thick of it all, covering this all the time, and I found myself Googling the other day online workouts. I don't usually work out at home.
There are a lot of gyms that are doing that right now, which is really fun. You know, I'm with Burn Boot Camp here in the Madison area, and they're also offering classes online because, again, we're all in this together, and like when it's a part of your routine, you know, Lee and I usually do this every day, and when you kind of lose that, it kind of also changes your habits, changes your mood. So I made sure yesterday I did my class at home in like, what, a few 100 square feet apartment, and I found myself laughing a couple times because I'd bump the bed, I'd bump the dresser, but you know what? You have to do it.
Working out's so important for your mentality and also important to help support these local business owners like Burn or the Transformation Center that we just took.
Life goes on.
Yes, certainly does.
All right, still ahead for us on this Wednesday morning, how some celebrities are helping kids with food insecurity stay fed during the coronavirus pandemic.
And then ahead in our next half hour, we're learning more about community spread here in Wisconsin and who the DHS says doesn't need to be tested. Stick with us.
This portion of News 3 Now is sponsored by Don Miller.
Habitat for Humanity of Dane County provides local families long-term stability through home ownership. Statistics show children from stable housing are more likely to get better grades, finish high school, and graduate from college. Strengthen our community. Support Habitat Dane County.
For the first time ever, Ashley Home Store, the #1 retailer of furniture and mattresses in the USA, is hosting a nationwide $500 million inventory blowout sale. Find doorbusters up to 75% off store-wide while they last. Plus, on top of our already low sale prices, take 3 years to pay with no interest financing, even on clearance and smart buy items. Get historic mattress deals on the best brands. This is the biggest nationwide furniture and mattress sale ever to hit the U.S. Only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
From kids to pets and parties, we'll lay the groundwork for all of life's awesome moments. This is Tom Coyle. My family and I say thank you. We're proud to have been a part of this community for 75 years. During our 75th anniversary event, standard carpet installation is just $75. Carpet 1 room, 3 rooms, even your whole house, and installation is only $75. Coyle Carpet 1 Floor and Home, locally owned and operated since 1945.
RHD Plumbing has the most reliable professionals in the industry. With honesty you can trust to deliver quality products and workmanship, dedicated to being the best. RHD Plumbing now offers complete bathroom and kitchen remodeling, the best plumbers, and everything else you need to finish your dream project. For your home or business, get the job done right the first time with no surprises. With the reliable, honest, and dedicated plumbing professionals of RHD Plumbing, proudly serving all of Dane County.
Listen, I love to grill, but we don't always have time. Go get them. That's when Johnsonville Flame Grilled Sausage is perfect. Tastes grilled because Johnsonville already grilled it. So you get that famous Johnsonville flavor any night of the week.
Dealing with insurance companies can be scary. Sometimes they act like bullies. But at Habish, Rotier, our specialty is dealing with bullies. Our staff includes experts who can assist in complex cases, and our seasoned trial lawyers never blink when it's time for a fight. From car accidents to nursing home abuse to product liability, it's how we cut bullies down to size. Habish, Rotier, we fight for what's right.
When we face adversity, we find a way through it. It's about taking care of each other. It's the small parts that make a big difference. At Chevy, we promise to do ours. We're offering Chevy owners complimentary OnStar Crisis Assist services and Wi-Fi data. If you need a new Chevy, interest-free financing for 84 months with deferred payments for 120 days on many of our most popular models. You may even shop online and take delivery at home. It's just our way of doing our part.
Welcome back at 6:23 on this Wednesday morning. Jennifer giving us a little hope in her My Morning picture. Beautiful shot of the sunrise behind the trees.
Oh, I love sunrises. Keep sending these pictures our way. These are really the best. We need that hope right now.
Especially when it's a dreary day like this too. Jennifer, thank you very much. Well, if you are struggling to find ways to keep your kids entertained now that they have more time at home, you are certainly not alone.
No, thankfully, a few celebrities are teaming up to bring story time to your kids, all while raising money to help keep them fed.
30 million children rely on school for food, and with school closures across the country, these children are extra vulnerable.
We had an idea. We're going to read you books.
Jennifer Garner and Amy Adams, along with a few of their A-list friends, are reading stories for kids. Hearing the stories, of course, is free, but if you can, the stars ask for you to consider donating to the Save the Children. Save the Children has a special fund set up to address food shortages and educational needs for kids affected by COVID-19.
This is your head. Is there a bird on his head? This is your head.
It's always good to get a Fallon fix this early. That, of course, was Jimmy Fallon reading his own book, Baby. Other celebrities getting involved include Reese Witherspoon, who you saw earlier, Natalie Portman, and Jenna Ortega. You can find those stories on their Instagram account at SaveWithStories.
Yeah, if you'd like to donate, you can go to savethechildren.org/save or text the word SAVE to 20222 to make a one-time $10 donation.
Okay, putting you on the spot yet again. Did you have a favorite book? What book, if you were a celebrity? I asked you in the last
hour. If I'm a celebrity, I don't really know. That's my problem. Like, I mean, I'm trying to think of some childhood books, and I can't really think of any right now.
I finally thought of the one that I would read. I would read Lyle the Crocodile. Did you ever read those books?
Oh my gosh, that's a good one, yes.
So by Bernard Weber. When I was in kindergarten, he came and talked to our school, and I was just kind of became infatuated and obsessed with him, so much so that I actually became pen pals with him.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, like all the way through maybe like 6th grade I wrote to him. Unfortunately, he passed away shortly after that, but books just can have such an impact on you.
Yeah, another person that can have an impact on us is Miss Hattie McLean with our forecast. Hattie, kind of rainy out there today.
We do have kind of a mess across southern Wisconsin. Wanted to show you this picture. This may make you smile, though. Our pet walk forecast for the day. A little bit of snow on the ground for Charlie in Madison. It's kind of appropriate. Take a look at our parking lot. We do have some snow falling here on the west side.
We'll be right back with more weather and news in just a moment.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Deer Season Madness is on now at Sloan Implement. Get a John Deere and your super-size Sloan deal. Get 0% for 84 months or $159 per month on a John Deere 1025R. Get a John Deere now during Deer Season Madness and powered up with Sloan.
There's spring savings at Gobin Cars, where you can get a new body style 2018 Chevy Equinox for only $15,995 or $249 per month. All with remaining factory warranty. That's right, Gobin Cars has new body style 2018 Chevy Equinoxes for only $15,995 or $249 per month. So just come on in and visit our family-owned and operated business for over 50 years and ask for Crystal the Pistol Gobin.
You gotta go to Gobin, GobinCars.com.
The windows on our homes. We probably don't give them much thought. They're just there, doing what windows do. It's true, they add character and personality. They connect the inside to the outside, and the other way around. But they're also there to do much more. They're there to frame a smile. They provide the perfect light for the perfect moment. They help protect us and the ones we love.
It's perfect. Thank you for choosing our home. Here's a list of our favorite spots to help you live like a local. And here is our Spectrum Wi-Fi password and a channel guide to help you settle in.
Did you say Spectrum?
Experience the fastest starting speeds for the price with Spectrum Internet. At 200 megabits per second, you'll enjoy faster surfing, streaming, and gaming. Switch to Spectrum Internet for $44.99 a month. Call 833-902-4499. Then lose yourself in the best in entertainment with more HD and more free on demand. With thousands of free titles to choose from and the best in live TV, there's always something on. Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Plus, download the Spectrum TV app for more ways to watch. Call 833-902-4499.
It happened again. You guys were supposed to leave
yesterday.
Is that my robe?
Is it?
Lose yourself in the best internet and TV with Spectrum. Switch now from $44.99 a month each, all with no contracts. Call 833-902-4499.
All right then. Why do professional builders and remodelers choose Nuns? Seems to be reason number 151, which must be Nuns Boutique Selections. And maybe the big box prices? Ah, yeah. Best of both worlds. Just like at the big box. Oh, maybe not. So why should you choose Nuns? Isn't it obvious? Nuns. Kitchen, bath, and flooring.
The road to Deere Season Madness is at Sloan's. Get a John Deere and your No Doubt About It Sloan deal. Get 0% for 60 months or $219 per month on a John Deere XUV 835M. Get a John Deere now during Deere Season Madness and Powered Up with Sloan's.
We actually want those patients to not go get tested.
Right now, we're following the latest on the community spread of coronavirus in Wisconsin and who health officials say shouldn't be getting tested.
And spring is just one day away, but it's looking a little bit more like winter outside here in southern Wisconsin this morning. All of the full forecast in just a few minutes.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us. We hope your Wednesday is off to a good start. It's March 18th. I'm Josh Breiter.
And I'm Christina Laurie. Leah Lynchide will be joining us remotely later in just a few minutes. Josh and I practicing what all of the doctors preach, doing our part to fight the coronavirus, social distancing this morning. That's why we look a little unusual.
I was going to say, how's it going over there?
Yeah, in the middle of my megaphone. Hello, Josh.
Well, the virus certainly taking its toll on many aspects of our personal lives, but the primary elections are largely carrying on as usual. Let's take a look at the latest numbers as votes are still being counted this morning. With 97% of the vote in, CNN projects Joe Biden as the winner of Illinois by more than 20%, taking 79 delegates compared to Bernie Sanders' 31. Biden is winning Florida by an even bigger margin by nearly 40%, claiming 130 delegates to Bernie's 30 with 93% of the vote in. And in the final state to vote Tuesday, Arizona, Biden is projected to win by a smaller margin with 69% of the votes being counted. He's beating Sanders by just shy of 15%, claiming 24 delegates compared to Sanders' 11.
Biden's sweep is getting him closer to the Democratic nomination. Here is the latest delegate count with numbers just updated into the newsroom this morning. Right now, Biden needs a little more than 800 delegates to clinch the nomination, while Sanders needs more than 1,000. Candidates need 1,991 total delegates to get the nomination. There are now less than 50% of those delegates up for grabs.
As local governments make stricter rules about social distancing and gathering in public spaces, it didn't stop the millions of voters who went to the polls. Illinois' governor says that state took every precaution at polling places to make sure it was as safe as possible. 2 counties moved 3 polling stations from nursing homes to nearby alternative venues. The machines were wiped down after each voter used them. Voters in Ohio expected to vote yesterday, but instead they're going to join voters in Louisiana, Georgia, and Kentucky who will vote in the coming months after their primaries were postponed over coronavirus concerns.
Election officials around the country are encouraging people to cast their ballots by mail to avoid crowded polling places, including right here in Wisconsin. The Guardian reports clerks around the state have seen a surge in requests for mail-in ballots ahead of our April 7th primary. But during that process, restrictions on who can vote by mail have been causing some issues. Those restrictions vary depending on the state. New York is one of 17 states that requires voters fall in one of 6 categories of acceptable excuses, and fear of pandemic is not one of them. That potentially puts millions of votes at risk. Here in Wisconsin, it's a lot easier, though. Any U.S. citizen at least 18 years old who's registered to vote is eligible.
Dozens of new cases of COVID-19 are now confirmed across the state, and there are new precautions to help mitigate the growth we're seeing. Take a look at the latest numbers from the Department of Health Services, and actually just into the newsroom here, there are now 90 confirmed cases in Wisconsin. That is up from 47 on Monday. The newest case is out of Ozaukee County. The number in Dane County also jumped from 10 to 19. Milwaukee County has the most confirmed cases with 40 total. A big part of the new details from the DHS is that there are now community spread cases, meaning there are people who have tested positive who haven't had any exposure to a known case and didn't travel to a place where there's known community spread already. Governor Evers and officials with DHS say there is also community spread in Milwaukee and Kenosha counties this morning. With limited supplies to complete the hundreds of tests being turned in each day, the priority is still on those who are high risk.
People who do not require hospitalization, or people that have mild respiratory symptoms for which they wouldn't normally go to the doctor. Many times we get a cold and we go to the pharmacy and get over-the-counter medications. We actually want those patients to not go get tested, even assuming that some of them have COVID-19.
Governor Evers issued an emergency order that limits all gatherings to fewer than 10 people, effectively closing restaurants and bars to the public, limiting them to carry out or delivery. You can read those regulations on channel3000.com.
Congress will continue to work on the Families First Coronavirus Response Act today. The act could benefit tens of millions of U.S. workers and give billions of dollars to workers impacted by the virus, which would help the economy from sliding closer to a recession. But unless changes are made, 60 million Americans would be ineligible for 2 weeks of paid sick leave and up to 3 months of family and medical leave. Larger companies with more than 500 employees are exempt. The House passed the bill early Saturday morning, and the Senate is expected to vote on it this coming week.
Coming up on 6:35, Hattie, is going to be a good day to hunker in at home. Is that some snow I'm seeing in our parking lot?
It is. Josh and Christina, can you find your car? Probably not, because they all look the same. They're all covered in snow this morning. Note the snow is accumulating on those elevated surface and the grass, not accumulating on the parking lot. The parking lot is just wet. That's the sort of scenario that we're dealing with on the roads this morning. Here is Doppler track showing you this band of precipitation working its way ever so slowly to the east. Madison now included. Most of Dane County seeing some of those snowflakes. It is falling in the form of rain in Platteville. So this rain-snow line will work its way towards Madison over the next couple of hours, but we could see some light snow accumulation for the area. Again, less than an inch is expected in most spots. There could be some isolated higher amounts, but the snow will not last very long. Take a look at your future track forecast model. Again, showing you what's happening through the morning hours. The snow shifts to the east, and then it's just rain for the rest of the morning into the lunch hour. Still likely to be pretty wet by the lunchtime hour here in southern Wisconsin. For the afternoon, just mainly cloudy skies and kind of cool conditions with highs only in the low to mid 40s. Now again, in addition to that potential for some snow, some light rain totals are expected. The highest amounts will be right along the state line. A couple of storm systems though this week. The first one today, the next one for tomorrow. Here's future track, 7:30 in the morning, widespread rain across Iowa. It will be moving in our direction, so a wet Thursday is anticipated. Could even see some rumbles of thunder Thursday afternoon and evening. As cold air wraps around and behind this system, we'll likely see at least a mix, if not a changeover, to some snow briefly on Friday morning, but the precipitation winds down pretty quickly. Most snow accumulations from that second system will be across central and northern Wisconsin. We are looking at over a ½ an inch of rain, though, possibly up to 1 inch of liquid equivalent here in southern Wisconsin. Your extended forecast has mild conditions on Thursday. We're looking at a high of 56. That is the first official day of spring. Don't put the winter gear away just yet, though. Look at that high on Friday, 35 degrees. We will get the sunshine back for the afternoon. On Saturday as well, sunshine, but still pretty chilly. Your first warn traffic maps, no major issues, but again, keep in mind roads will definitely be wet. We're not seeing any slowdowns, though, just yet as you head into Madison.
All right, Hattie, thank you. 5 million face masks and 2,000 specialized ventilators will go to federal health authorities around the country to help treat people with the coronavirus. Defense Secretary Mark Esper says the ventilators are designed for use by deployed troops and that the military will need to train health officials on how to use them. The first million of those are supposed to be available right now. Esper is also asking state and local leaders to see if there's any need for field hospitals.
New this morning, Canada and the U.S. are working on a mutual ban on non-essential travel between the two countries amid the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. The Associated Press reports truck drivers and Canadian snowbirds, those are people who live in the U.S. for part of the year, will be among those expected to be exempt. Both countries are looking to slow the spread of the coronavirus, but still want to continue their critical relationship relationship. Canada relies on the U.S. for 75% of its exports, while 18% of American exports go to Canada.
Fruit and vegetable producers are bracing for big disruptions to their labor force after the U.S. government said it plans to suspend visa interviews in Mexico to reduce the spread of coronavirus. Starting today, Reuters reports new applications won't be processed and only returning seasonal workers will be allowed to enter the U.S. It comes as Americans empty the shelves in grocery stores while they prepare for potential quarantine orders. Well, my co-anchor, Leah Linscheid, is on day 3 of social distancing and working from home this week.
This morning, she's breaking down which workers have it worse when it comes to exposure to the coronavirus. And hopefully we didn't make the list. Good morning, Leah.
Good morning, Christina and Josh. Yeah, it seems like there's a new headline almost hourly here of another business closing down. It's safe to say almost all of our jobs have been impacted now by the coronavirus. But I want to share some context this morning on which jobs, which workers are most at risk of coming into contact with coronavirus while they're at work. The New York Times has a great, really informative graphic up that we've been talking about all morning. We're going to break it down for you. Last half hour, we talked about how, of course, healthcare workers are really impacted, are really at risk of coming into contact with coronavirus, particularly dentists, nurses, first responders. This half hour, we're talking about a couple of others. Let's start with teachers, our educators, right? Governor Evers just announced yesterday that schools would stay closed indefinitely instead of coming back into session in April. This is part of the reason why this population of workers really at risk for coming into contact. Also, retail workers. This is in alignment rather with Easttown and Westtown malls just closing down as well. A lot of contact there. And grocery store workers. We've been talking a lot about social distancing. I have been told to try and keep, 2 carts distance away from our fellow shoppers. So again, this is a reason why this at-risk population of workers, all 3 of these groups at risk, not necessarily because they're exposed to illnesses, but because of their proximity to others. You're in close physical contact with other people. If you are a teacher, a retail worker, a grocery store worker, also bartenders and restaurant workers there. Again, we are sharing all of this to provide a little bit of context with all of these headlines of all of these businesses closing. It's all about keeping people safe. It's about keeping the public safe and also about keeping our workers safe. These folks, many of them still have to continue to do their jobs, grocery store workers in particular. So we want to make sure that everyone is socially distancing themselves, taking care of the at-risk population, our workers, and the public in general. Josh and Christina.
Leah Linscheid reporting from home once again this morning. Leah, thank you very much. New this morning, U.S. unemployment could rise as high as 20% without government intervention because of the impact of the coronavirus. That's according to Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin. Bloomberg News reports he told the Republican senators he believes the economic fallout from the virus is potentially worse than the 2008 financial crisis. The U.S. Federal Reserve has already used a lot of its resources to boost the economy, bringing rates close to zero and announcing crisis-era lending programs.
Well, Hattie is tracking rain and even snow this Wednesday. We told her to make that go away. I don't know why she's not listening yet. She'll talk more about that, though, ahead in our first Warren forecast.
Also ahead, a former Badger is now quarantined at home after returning from Italy. We'll tell you about his experience when we come back.
Eating and drinking healthy things that are acidic, it's negatively impacting your enamel. Thinning and yellowing can happen as a result of that. Pronamel is a proactive solution designed to help protect your enamel.
I love that one.
I love it.
I love them.
It's easy to fall in love with a new Chevy.
I love this one too.
And the auto show is the perfect time to see why.
Wow.
I love it.
That's my next truck.
Use Auto Show Cash and find the many reasons to fall in love with a new Chevy.
I love it.
I'm gonna go buy a Chevy.
Right now, get $1,000 Auto Show Cash on most 2020 Blazer models. That's on top of most other offers. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Attorney Andrew Van Arsdale.
For decades, survivors of childhood sexual abuse were told it was too late for them to seek justice. No more. Statute of limitations prohibited organizations like the Catholic and Mormon churches, public and private school systems, Boy Scouts, and other youth organizations from being held accountable. No more. Call us today for a free confidential consultation. We're helping abuse survivors across the country say no more. Let us help you too.
Call 1-800-816-0723.
Save big now during Menards Think Spring Sale. Jeld-Wen has 140 in-stock windows to complete your project today. Right now, get a 24 by 24-inch sliding window for $69.99. Freshen up your home with a new coat of Dutch Boy Platinum Plus paint. It features stain shield technology, providing up to 50% more stain resistance and washability. Right now, only $25.98 per gallon after rebate during Menards Think Spring Sale.
Save big money at Menards.
You take care now. Bye, Jen.
You did it. You told her that during Steinhoffel's employee family price sale, everyone gets the employee discount.
I couldn't do it.
Give me one good reason why. Is that me?
Steinhoffel's employee family price sale has been extended. This is your last chance to get 40% off on the largest selection of the best brands at the best prices. It's Steinhoffel's employee family price sale.
There's always next year.
Or never.
Russian intruders are making their moves on social media to disrupt U.S. elections.
This blurry distinction between foreign and domestic groups pose a lot of challenges to tech platforms.
Can they be stopped? News 3 Now investigates Thursday at 10. News 3 Now.
UW officials are saying it's necessary to act now.
Providing you with the facts.
The governor declared a public health emergency to help manage the spread of this virus here at home.
About how the coronavirus outbreak is impacting our community.
Reduce the spread of COVID-19. That is really our focus right now.
If we practice good social distancing, then everyone practices that. This curve changes.
For the latest information, safety advice, and breaking news, watch News 3 Now, your coronavirus headquarters.
As America shuts down this morning, the impacts are being felt in the nation's blood supply. The American Red Cross has a severe blood shortage because of the unprecedented number of blood drive cancellations during the coronavirus pandemic. Healthy people are donating or needing to donate right now to help patients who depend on life-saving blood. The Red Cross says it is introducing more precautions to ensure blood drives and donation centers are safe. To find a blood drive near you, go to redcross.org.
If you have procedures scheduled at local hospitals and clinics, you'll likely get a cancellation call from your doctor's office. UW Health, SSM Health, and Unity Point Meritor are all postponing non-life-threatening, non-urgent surgeries and procedures. That's just one of the ways they're responding to the coronavirus in our area. The groups say the health and safety of their patients and staff is their top priority, and they think the cancellations are in the best interest of those people and our community. UW Health will also now give drive-through coronavirus screenings to employees who need them. The department is also clearing clinic space for COVID-19 screenings for all patients. It's also encouraging anyone experiencing mild symptoms to call them or schedule a virtual visit before going to the hospital, clinic, or screening facility.
Students at UW-Madison will be taking online classes for the rest of the semester after the university suspended all in-person instruction. The UW says students who can't go home to a permanent address or access online classes away from campus will be allowed to stay in the residence halls. Essential services like public safety, admissions, financial aid, and enrollment for new students will continue to work on campus, while all non-essential employees work remotely.
Former Badgers basketball player Ethan Happ is now self-quarantining at his home in Illinois after returning from Italy last week. The former All-American now plays professionally for a team in Italy, where his season has now been canceled. In an interview with the Journal Sentinel, Happ says he's feeling great and has taken every precaution he can while he was still in Italy. Now that he's back here in the States, he's living at home alone. His parents moved into a hotel for the duration of his 2-week quarantine since his 60-year-old dad has pre-existing health conditions and didn't want Happ to put any of the hotel workers at risk if he stayed there instead.
New this morning, the Ottawa Senators are the first NHL team to announce one of their players tested positive for the coronavirus. They're not identifying that player, but say they're now in isolation. The team is in the process of notifying anyone who had close contact with them and are requesting that the team self-isolate. 6:47 now. Hattie has a forecast that's perfect for self-isolating this morning. Hattie, good morning to you.
It certainly is. In fact, Josh, take a look at behind me. This is the Edgewater sky camera shot. Can barely see the Capitol Dome this morning with snow falling here in Madison. So boy, how things have changed just within the last hour for us here in the capital city. Visibility is down to 3/4 of a mile, down to a mile in Lone Rock, about 1.5 miles in the Dells. You can see where the heaviest snow is falling. We are under that heavy band right now here here in Madison. It is slowly working its way to the east, though. This is not going to last too long as far as the snow is concerned. We will eventually see a changeover to some rain. Temperatures will slowly climb today, back through the 30s into the low to mid 40s this afternoon. But with clouds and on and off showers even later today, it'll be a rather chilly day. Stay inside today. Not a good day to be outside.
All right, Hetty, thank you. Coming up in the morning sprint, we have the latest on school closures across our area.
But first, if you have a little kid turning 3 years old soon, please let us know so we can show their picture and celebrate them right here on our News 3 Now This Morning show.
Look Who's 3 is sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
Save with low price lockdown from Hy-Vee. We've locked down prices on hundreds of your favorite everyday items. Prices are locked down for months and months on major leading name brands. The products that you like, the products that you want, and products that you'll want to stock up on. And all of the prices are locked down until we unlock them and lower them even more. Low price lockdown, only at Hy-Vee.
The Culligan high-efficiency water softener is the world's best. It's backed by the industry's strongest warranty and serviced by the world's largest local dealer network. Click or call Culligan Water and start saving today.
I'm happy head to toe. I'm in overdrive. I'm ready, 'cause these are the best.
It's the SUV for all you love, the 2020 Subaru Forester at Don Miller. Get the Forester Advantage with Subaru EyeSight Driver Assist technology and blind spot detection with rear cross traffic alert. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event, lease the Forester Premium, $269 per month plus tax, 36 months, 10,000 miles per year, $1969 due at signing. No security deposit. The Forester all-wheel drive plus MPG. Don Miller Subaru, West on Odana or East Side, High Crossing Boulevard, Madison.
Don Miller. Let me introduce me. Here I come. Yeah.
Cuts, colors, braids, and fades. We stand for style. Cost Cutter Salons.
#1 in color in Wisconsin.
Growing up, your memories may have included reading your favorite book before bed. For many, this is where the joy of reading starts.
At Bella Domicile, we want every child to experience that joy.
And it's Madison Reading Project's mission to make sure that all children have that same opportunity.
Please donate to help us provide 40,000 books to children and help sustain our Big Red Reading Bus.
For more information, visit MadisonReadingProject.com.
Brought to you by Bella Domicile and United Madison.
Get a great deal on the Kubota L-Series tractor. Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota L-Series tractor is the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. for over 10 years. With a powerful Kubota diesel engine and dependable gear or HST transmission, it's ready to take on your toughest projects. Right now, get the L2501 HST for payments as low as $149 a month.
Join us on News 3 Now at 6 and 10.
6:52, time for the morning sprint.
We start with the latest on the race for the Democratic presidential nomination. The votes are still being counted this morning after primaries in Illinois, Arizona, and Florida. But Joe Biden is projected to sweep all three. Here are the latest numbers, with less than 50% of available delegates still up for grabs.
Election officials around the country are urging people to cast their votes by mail to avoid crowded polling places, including here in Wisconsin. But restrictions on who can vote by mail have been causing some issues. 17 states require voters to fall into one of 6 categories of acceptable excuses, and fear of a pandemic like the coronavirus is not one of them. In Wisconsin, it's a lot easier. Anyone who is a U.S. citizen that's at least 18 years old and registered to vote is eligible.
Just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center, Johns Hopkins says the number of confirmed cases of coronavirus is up to 200,000 worldwide. This comes as dozens of new cases have been announced around Wisconsin, including one new one overnight in Washington County. The state total is now up to 90 confirmed cases. That's up from just 47 on Monday.
We actually want those patients to not go get tested, even assuming that some of them have COVID-19.
Health officials are asking certain people to not get tested even if they're showing symptoms. Now, with known community spread in 3 counties, officials want the limited supplies they have to be used for those who are at high risk and those with pre-existing conditions or direct contact with someone who is confirmed to have the virus.
Governor Tony Evers is extending the closure of all public and private K-12 schools indefinitely. His original plan would have only kept schools closed until April 6th.
I'm Leah Lynchide, socially distancing myself and working from home this morning, but we know not everyone has that opportunity. This morning, we are breaking down which workers are most at risk for exposure to coronavirus. At the top of that list, dental hygienists and dentists, according to the New York Times. That's part of the reason why the American Dental Association has asked that offices reschedule any routine appointments to help protect their workers and, of course, the public. Among the most at risk as well, nurses, health aides, paramedics, first responders, and teachers. You can take a look at the New York Times interactive graph to check your own job. A link to it is up on channel3000.com. Christina?
Thank you, Leah. Right now, Canada and the U.S. are working on a mutual ban on non-essential travel between the two countries. The Associated Press reports truck drivers and Canadian snowbirds who live in the U.S. for part of the year will be among those expected to be exempt. Both countries are looking to slow the spread of the virus, but still want to continue their critical relationship.
Fruit and vegetable producers are bracing for big disruptions to their labor force after the U.S. government said it plans to suspend visa interviews in Mexico to reduce the spread of the coronavirus. Starting today, Reuters reports new applications won't be processed and only returning seasonal workers will be allowed to enter the U.S. This comes as Americans empty the shelves in grocery stores while they prepare for potential quarantine orders.
Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin says U.S. unemployment could rise as high as 20% without government intervention because of the impact of the coronavirus. Bloomberg News reports he told Republican senators he believes the economic fallout from this virus could be worse than the 2008 financial crisis. The U.S. Federal Reserve has already used a lot of its resources to boost the economy, bringing interest rates close to zero and announcing crisis-era lending programs.
The country's 3 largest auto manufacturers are introducing new safety measures to their U.S. plants and plan to continue producing vehicles. This is despite pressure from the United Auto Workers for a 2-week shutdown to protect workers from coronavirus. Automotive News reports the UAW will lobby in Washington on behalf of union workers, with more details on that being released later today.
The local Food Fight restaurant group is giving unpaid leave of absence to roughly 750 employees following restaurant restrictions put in place by the government in response to the coronavirus. The company's 20 restaurants are now down to just 4 or 5 employees each.
And your first warn weather. This is what it looks like outside this morning on the west side of Madison. Snow is falling and accumulating on the grassy surfaces. Here's that band of snow that's working its way through southern Wisconsin right now. It is falling in the form of rain in far southwestern Wisconsin. Milder temperatures are expected this weekend.
Thanks for joining us.
Have a great day, everyone.